2018 Kia Stinger GT 3.3 TAWD. Back in 1964, the great Muhammad Ali famously taunted heavyweight title opponent Sonny Liston, saying he'd float like a butterfly, sting like a bee in their upcoming match. We have to wonder if the team that developed the all-new Kia Stinger took that quote as their mantra, because it describes with uncanny precision the car they created to attack the sports sedan segment. Quick-step agility with the strength to deliver a powerful punch is the very definition of a sports sedan, and Kia has largely, but not entirely, delivered on that goal with the Stinger. It's not for lack of trying. The Stinger, which is actually a hatchback, is built from solid hardware, on a version of the Genesis G70's rear-wheel drive platform. In the sports sedan world, the Stinger is a tweener, splitting the size difference between cars like the BMW 3 Series and Mercedes-Benz C-Class and their larger stablemates, the 5 Series and D-Class. Powerful puncher. Following a few laps on the Nürburgring several months ago, this was our first drive of a Stinger GT AWD on local roads. All GTs are powered by the same twin-turbocharged 3.3-liter V6 offered in the big Genesis G90 Luxe Cruiser and the Genesis G80 Sport. The boosted mill develops a healthy 365 horsepower and 376 pounds-to-foot of torque and is lashed to a Kia-built 8-speed automatic. Base Stingers are powered by a turbocharged 2.0-liter inline-4 that makes 255 horses and 260 pounds-to-foot and is also mated to the 8-speed auto. Both powertrains feed torque to the rear wheels but can be optionally mated to an all-wheel drive system that's rear-biased and can send up to 50% of the available torque to the front wheels or 80% rearward. The GT's standard equipment is certainly appropriate to its mission. Our AWD test car came with Brembo brakes, adjustable dampers, and Michelin Pilot Sport 4 performance footwear, size 225/40 ZR19 in front and 255/35 ZR19 at the rear, on handsome aluminum wheels. The Powertrain and Chassis are controlled via driving mode switch that offers 5 settings: Comfort, Sport, Smart, Eco, and Custom, the last of which allows you to mix and match suspension firmness, throttle mapping, shift programs, and engine sound enhancement. A fighter's countenance. The mechanicals are bolted to a car whose styling promises they will be put to good use. The Stinger's hatchback body is adorned with an angry face and enough mean-looking slots and grills to make its go-fast intentions unmistakable. The interior layout is handsomely sporting as well, with a simple sweep of an instrument panel, clear gauges, a flat-bottom steering wheel with shift paddles, and standard leather trimmings. Our track testing revealed that the hottest Kia does indeed sting like a bee. 60 miles per hour comes up in 4.6 seconds, it circulates the skid pad at 0.91 grams, and it stops from 70 miles per hour in 164 feet. Kia claims that the car's top speed is governed at 167 miles per hour. Those numbers match up well with larger, much more expensive performance sedans like some that competed in a recent comparison test, including the Audi A6 3.0T competition and the Cadillac CT-SB Sport. It bobs, it weaves. Unfortunately, when the asphalt rides and your right foot goes down hard, the Stinger does sometimes float like a butterfly, and not in a good way. We experienced several unnerving sideways twitches while traversing nasty heaves in the middle of fast corners that convinced us that firmer rear damper tuning was needed. Despite the car's adjustable shocks and multiple driving modes, we couldn't find a setting that endowed a Stinger's chassis with the poise and feedback that cements the driver-car connection. What's more, the throttle was too jumpy in sport mode for smooth mid-corner power applications, the transmission was slow to respond to calls for downshifts from the steering wheel paddles, and the engine sounds merely ordinary in its upper rev range. If the Stinger's footwork isn't honed to a razor's edge, it has another way to deliver a roundhouse punch to the performance sedan segment, Kia-style value. The Bass rear-drive GT comes with all the good stuff, including the twin-turbo V6, big tires, and Brembos, for $39,250. All-wheel drive adds $2,200. Our test car, however, had the full boat GT2 trim package, which loaded it with everything from active safety gear to Nappa leather and boosted the sticker to $52,300. At that price point, there are other attractive sports sedan alternatives. Restrain yourself on the order form, and Kia's Challenger hits much harder against smaller, more expensive driver's sedans from Germany, Japan, and America. The Stinger may not be quite ready to steal the heavyweight sports sedan crown, but its value is a knockout.
2019 Genesis G70. The Genesis G70 is hugely important for its maker, a sports sedan shouldering outsize expectations that it can stake a place for the nascent Korean luxury brand as a contender against the established players. But even Genesis itself admits that the world doesn't need more luxury cars. The world is fine without Genesis, brand chief Manfred Fitzgerald told us, and therefore the company says it needs to be daring and to make its products special and desirable. While the larger G80 and G90 already on sale are good, they don't break any new ground, and their genealogies include Hyundai-badged antecedents. The G70 line starts under Genesis, and that fact, along with its broader target audience, codifies its significance. Its ambitions for Genesis drove parent company Hyundai to poach leading figures from across the industry for its executive roster, including Fitzgerald, who previously served as the director of the Lamborghini brand, former Bentley and Lamborghini design chief Luke Donkerwalk, ex-GM and 5th-gen Chevrolet Camaro designer Sanup Lee, and chassis guru and former BMW M head Albert Biermann. Their mission: make cars that are achingly beautiful and drive even better, a goalpost often raised by automakers but rarely cleared. The genesis of Genesis style. These photos show the Korea-spec G70 in production form. In person, the G70 looks cleanly designed with few fussy details. We'd hardly call the car audacious, apart from that whole Korean rear-drive sports sedan aiming to punch Germany in the mouth thing. But this is merely the first vehicle in a line that increasingly will push the stylistic envelope. For example, we're told the GV80 SUV coming in 2019 will be even more daring than the fairly bold concept shown earlier this year. That concept's headlights point to the direction the brand is taking, with the parallel tube-like running lamps of the G70 serving as an iterative step leading to the thin LED-specced strips of the GV80. Donkerwalk says all Genesis lamps eventually will be as thin and as bright as possible, and he's keen to abandon traditional lighting clusters, which he derides as aquariums filled with shit. Eventually, things will get more adventurous, as Genesis vehicles develop radical light signatures that streak from the headlights, across the fenders, and toward the leading edges of the doors. Where the people go. Inside the G70 is a driver-oriented cockpit with a sensible layout. There's a central control knob behind the shift lever to control the chassis modes, and a symmetrical center stack is topped by a de rigueur, bezel-less tablet-style touchscreen. A row of toggles below the display houses redundant controls for various infotainment functions, and a nicely sculpted steering wheel sits in front of analog gauges split by a higher-ease screen. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard. The genesis of sportiness. The US market G70 will offer a pair of engines, A turbocharged 2.0-liter inline-4 rated for 252 horsepower and 260 pounds-to-foot of torque, and a twin-turbocharged 3.3-liter V6 good for a stout 365 horsepower and 376 pounds-to-foot. Outputs are approximate. Exact U.S. market specs won't be finalized until early next year, ahead of a March or April on-sale date as a 2019 model. Both will be available with rear or all-wheel drive, and all models also get a limited-slip rear differential as standard. The same Hyundai designed 8-speed automatic from the G80 is standard across the board, albeit with specific programming, although the US may also get a special treat in a first-year-only 2.0T with a manual transmission. If that happens, credit Genesis's US arm, which we're told requested the combo, when paired with the 3.3T and put into sport mode. The all-wheel drive system is said to be more reluctant to shift torque from the rear in the interest of driving fun. Says Bierman of this behavior, "It probably wouldn't be in the car without me. Because 1, 2, or 3 aren't enough anymore." The G70 will have 5 chassis modes: Smart, Auto, Normal, Custom, Eco, and Sport. These affect steering weight and response, throttle calibration, engine note, and automatic shift points on all cars, all-wheel drive behavior on those models, and damper firmness on 3.3Ts, which have an adjustable suspension. These dampers might be optional on the 2.0T. Just the beginning? One of the Genesis brand's largest challenges is its lack of heritage, although that doesn't matter much to Koreans, who prefer new things to be completely fresh in every aspect, including vehicle styling not only across generations, but also within a current lineup. This won't be an issue for this first-ever G70, but moving forward, Genesis executives have given themselves, and by extension the marque, the task of shifting the Korean mindset to more of a global view, where brand identity and bloodline is every bit as important as contemporary product excellence. While forthcoming crossover SUV models will decide Genesis's financial future, its reputational hopes are firmly pinned on this car. Based on this early exposure, consider that reputation bolstered.